Okay, I'm gonna try to record this video again. I just tried a minute ago and I ran out of space because I have been downloading a lot of stuff from Pinterest to help with my children's homeschooling because during this pandemic, my son is home from school and I am trying to prepare my daughter for kindergarten this upcoming year. I haven't recorded a video in a while because of everything going on. My husband got laid off, my kid's been home from school, and so I've had a lot happening. But I'm back today to read to you another chapter out of A Look at Life from a Deer Stand.
Mommy, it's an A. It's an A on your book.
Yeah, she's learning her letters, and she's right now learning A's and B's. Alright, so this video, we are going to read Chapter 6, The Vapor. And this is the picture that has been drawn to go with it. Okay, so let's start. One thing I like about bow and muzzle loading season is the weather. A slightly cool morning without the need for heavy clothing is a favorite time to hunt. Although the bugs can be mild, or can be a midday bother here in Tennessee during the early part of the season, the problem can be solved with proper netting. By the way, before I continue with the next paragraph, we are outside today, so all that noise is my little babies playing. They're playing dragons or something, I'm not sure, but
We were playing dragons. Ow, my knee!
you're okay. And my husband may interrupt at some point. He likes to interrupt me when I'm making videos. So, if he does, and if y'all hear all that background noise, please just bear with me. Okay, so, hey, be nice to your sister. Play with your sister. Okay, I would much rather experience the midday autumn. We'll all let go of Bubba like that. I would much rather experience the mid-autumn mild temperatures and endure a few gnats and mosquitoes. But I hate snakes. Then sit in bitter cold weather. However, because my blood type is DO positive instead of O positive, I'll go out and freeze just for a chance of even a sighting.
Freeze? Why?
So he can see a deer. There have been a few mornings that I've been known to look a little like the man in the Jeremiah Johnson movie who was found frozen to death with a .50 caliber Hawken clutched to his chest.
Well, what's this?
It's in my book, honey. Stop. For me, hunting from a tree stand is extremely cold weather is out of the question.
Mommy, is that the water you gave them?
Yes, that's the water I gave for the neighbor dogs. Okay, it's out of the question. For two reasons. One, the wind up there seems to pass right through even the best clothing. Secondly, if I were to fall, I'm afraid I would break like a china plate on concrete floor. I would rather snuggle up on the ground against a tree and pursue some degree of comfort, especially for my feet. If my toes hurt, I cannot concentrate. So my stand is on the ground in the dead of winter, even though the risk of detection is greater. The times are too numerous to mention when during one of those bitter cold days I've heard that familiar crunch in the leaves or caught a flickering glimpse of a whitetail in the distance. As my heart rate begins to rise to hummingbird levels and the deer approaches, I usually begin the habitual rehearsal of what to do. First, I have to say to myself, if I can remember my name, calm down, and then repeat it several times, then according to the type of equipment I'm using, I quickly go over in my mind the steps to make the best shot. I then scan the woods for more deer. If there is a lead doe, I wait to see if she is showing any signs that a buck is behind her. As hard as I try to do everything right, there is one thing that has always frustrated me about being on the ground in frigid weather. It's that annoying choo-choo-like puff of vapor that escapes from every excited breath. I've tried holding it in, but fainting is no fun. I've tried blowing down over my chin towards my chest, but I know I look like a pot of boiling water on a stove. I've tried breathing only through my nose, but the freezing of the nose hairs bringeth pain. I'm convinced that a deer can spot movement of fog in the air, and it can alert them to the presence of something unusual. I may be wrong about it, but I still try to avoid the vapor trail. As hard as I try, I'm never successful. I can't remember which hunt it was when I first noticed the lesson in the vapor. I'm sure it was not in the midst of... Don't do that. That was gross.
How did you see me?
I can see you out of the corner of my eye. I told you, Mom will see everything.
We don't have eyes here, or eyes here, or eyes
My mom
here,
eyes are
or
invisible.
here.
My mom eyes are invisible. Only I can see them. Move your drink out of my camera. Okay. Quit worrying about your knee. You scraped it. You're all right. Suck it up, Buttercup.
It's really hot.
Okay, listen. I'm still reading. I'm sure it was not in the midst of a deer sighting, but rather in those hours of waiting when I didn't see anything. It was just me, my cold feet, and the fog I manufactured. I was sort of playing with it, seeing how far out I could blow the vapor. Which direction will the wind take it? That can be helpful. What shapes can I make with it? Hey, that looked like a plate of biscuits and gravy. Whoever said sitting on a deer stand is boring? But enough playing around, I thought. I better get back to hunting. That's why I'm enduring this pain, right? How many things are you going to eat? The next breath of vapor somehow caught my attention. Why that particular one, I don't know. But what happened next was special. That vapor of breath hung for a moment, then disappeared. I did it again, and then it too went away. The next and the next vanished as well. That's when the scripture in James 4:14 crossed my freezing brain. You are just a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away. I didn't want to think of that. There I was, having a wonderful time. Then all of a sudden I had to be faced with a noble thought. Can't this wait till Sunday morning? It wouldn't go away. That was me out there appearing and disappearing. That was Annie, Nathan, Heidi, my parents, in-laws, brothers, sisters, neighbors, all of us. It was about then that I could have used a distraction from the impending depression. Something like a 10-point buck would have been nice, but he didn't appear. I couldn't believe it. Okay, where was I? I couldn't believe it. Here I was on a deer stand, and I was thinking things like, I'm only here for a little while, a blade of grass in the yard. I'm a leaf headed towards October, an ocean wave that washes up on the shore and is never seen again. Unable to escape the thoughts, I began to seriously consider my own brief life, my hang time. The realization that my life was like a brief appearance of vapor that quickly disappeared had captured my thoughts. What will I do with the time I have here? I must make it count for something worthwhile. In doing so, perhaps a part of me could go on in time. Life... I don't know why. You can go in if you want.
Do you like to know?
Well, it's a beautiful day. It's going to be almost 80 degrees today, and it's been raining for like a week now, so we should spend time out here when we can.
Okay. I want to go play.
Yeah, go play.
I missed my swing set.
I know, honey. We'll get another swing set when Mommy and Daddy have more money.
Slide.
Yes, and a slide when Mommy and Daddy have more money. When Daddy gets back to work.
I wish the slide could be on the porch.
Go play. Okay, where was I? Like the lady who taught a 12-year-old boy how to play the guitar, and her music now echoes through his melodies. Now he has a son who plays the tune heard years before when his grandmother used to play. That lady is my own mother. I long as she did to do I long as she did to do something to ensure that others in the future will know that even though invisible, I was once visible. How wisely we Sorry, my kids are distracting me. Morgan, do not hit your sister. You'll go in timeout. Don't smile about it. You're going to end up getting in trouble. Okay. How wisely will we use our time? Have we ever considered what a valuable gift it is? I once heard a challenging scenario that describes time's value. It goes as follows. Suppose I was a banker, and I said to you, if you'll come to my bank each day, I will give you $86,400 to spend any way you wish. The only condition is that at the end of each day, stop! At the end of each day, you return the portion you do not spend. It will not be added to your account in savings, but instead it will be destroyed. You must promise to spend the money wisely. Do you agree? Sure you would. Ma'am, Mama didn't raise no fool. Okay, so they spelled mama here, M-A-M-A. I just want to clarify that to people. That is not mama, okay? Mama is spelled M-O-M-M-A. I cannot stand that when people spell it M-A-M-A. That drives me nuts. I always spell mama like that. I always called my grandma Mama Darling, and I always spelled her name M-A-M-A. And I think back now, and I'm like, how many years did I write stories and things about her for school, and they thought that I was talking about my mom? I lived with my grandparents growing up, so... Anyway, I just had to say that because I can't stand that. Mama didn't raise no fool. You would probably say, I have a feeling you would make every effort to spend the entire amount and as wisely as possible. The sobering picture is that every one of us goes to the bank of heaven each day, and we are given 86,400 seconds of time. When the day is finished, that which we didn't spend or that which we used unwisely is lost forever. Oh, wow, that's a sobering thought. Wow. I got a feeling down in my belly. I never thought of it that way. I pray that God would help us in our hang time to be a breath of fresh air in our spouses, our kids, families, and neighbors. I pray that He would help us not to waste precious time and to take careful notice of how we act towards those we love. Also, I pray that in our short days, His purpose for us in this world will be accomplished. A momentary encounter with real truths, like the one I was pondering that morning, always yields eternal fruit. I knew I would leave the deer stand that day a different person. Just how quickly does a man's life seem to pass through time? Perhaps it seems as brief as the time it would take you to read the following lyrics. Seasons of a Man. Stop fighting! I am the springtime, when everything seems so fine. Whether rain or shine, you will find me playing days full of pretending, when a dime is a lot to be spending, a time when life is beginning. I am the springtime. I am the summer, when the days are warm and long, and the call comes to wander. But I can't go far from home when the girls become a mystery, and you're barely passing history. and thinking old is when you're 30. I am the summer. I am the autumn days, when changes come so many ways. Looking back, I stand amazed that time has gone so quickly. When love is more than feelings, it's fixing bikes and painting ceilings. It's when you feel a cold wind coming. I am the autumn days. I am the winter, when the days are cold and bitter, and the days I can remember number more than the days to come. When you ride instead of walk, when you barely hear the talk, and goodbyes are said too often. I am the winter days, but I'll see spring again in heaven, and it'll last forever. And that was the end of chapter 6. Chapter 7 is called The Chase, and we will read that in my next video. So I'm going to go wrangle my kiddos and make them stop arguing and fighting with each other. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, blessed day. Make sure you say your prayers and thank the good Lord for everything He's given us. I know I do. He has blessed me better than I could have ever imagined. I love everybody. God bless you.